All right, welcome back. This is WUB, Wake Up Belize, Morning Vibes, and we do have a guest coming in, but we will open the phone lines and receive any calls that you may have on issues that you do have to bring forward. 280-5848 is our number here, and you're welcome to engage. 280-5848, and we welcome you to engage as we do every weekday morning here. As you know, we do have a guest, as I said, but we normally like to begin the conversation with what may be on your agenda. It's a show more driven by your agenda than it is ours, even though we come here with notes based on what we think is of public interest. And so we try to make sure that we engage you. One thing that struck me recently is the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda. This is a very small island in the Eastern Caribbean. Antigua and Barbuda. And their Prime Minister and his party won a fourth term, and he was under a lot of what one might call focus because of his disagreement with the Prime Minister of Trinidad, who was coming down pretty hard on our sister, the Secretary General of CARICOM, Dr. Carla Barnett, who is a Belizean. And there was this question as to her ascending to a second term as the Secretary General, with a general consensus for most of the Caribbean leaders. But Ms. Prasad, the Prime Minister of Trinidad, took issue. And we really, when you study all the wording that came from the Trinidad Prime Minister, you didn't get the sense that it was personal, but you got the sense that it was somehow a criticism on the way in which things operate in CARICOM. And so she was using, in my opinion now, she was using Dr. Carla as one of several reasons why she does not support the way things are going, and have been going in CARICOM, coming up with its position on various issues. And the bigger issue, even bigger than Dr. Carla, was this issue of the United States positioning itself as a policeman in the area. I've used that kind of easy to understand term because the actions of the United States in that area since January has been like a police. As a matter of fact, a report says that a couple of days ago they bombed another boat, killing 2 fishermen in that area. And it seems to be a persistent action going on since January, despite the fact that he or they, the United States, was occupied with this conflict in Iran. And the Prime Minister of Antigua criticized Prime Minister Prasad, and there was a little biff between the two of them in his disagreement with her, and basically saying that he disagrees with the United States position in that area. Anyway, he went to the polls, some suspecting that he would not win, but he and his party won overwhelmingly, and it is now a 4th term. But the interesting thing in the news, and you may not find it interesting, I did, that they have now decided that when they do their swearing in, and you know each cabinet has to do a swearing in in front of their governor general or whoever is the authority, representing in the old days the monarch, since we were members of the Commonwealth Caribbean and the British monarch was supposedly our head of state. And so we would pledge allegiance in the Caribbean. Even though we were independent, we would pledge allegiance to Her Majesty the Queen, and now it's her son, Charles III. But Antigua and Barbuda, in the history of their country, have now put that swearing in or pledging to King Charles aside, and they are now pledging to Antigua, the Constitution of Antigua and Barbuda, and the people of that country. Whether you know it or not, Belize was far advanced, and Belize is not and has not been swearing allegiance to the Queen when our cabinet is sworn in. We pledge allegiance to the people of Belize, to the Constitution of Belize, to the sovereignty of Belize, and so we were way ahead of Antigua and Barbuda and several other countries within the Caribbean region, former Commonwealth or still part of the Commonwealth Caribbean, still pledge allegiance to His Majesty King Charles. And of course, when his mother was the Queen, that was our pledge. Could you imagine that after these years of independence, that in fact we would still be attached in that way, that we would be saying, you know, that we give all our loyalty, etc., to the King of England, even after we have achieved independence. So it caught my eye, and I thought that was very interesting for us to, in 2026, still have countries within the Caribbean region that is in fact pledging allegiance to the King of England in 2026. But maybe some people may not have a problem with that. Maybe some people think that's a very good idea. There was a lot of pomp and circumstance of King Charles traveling into the United States, I think it was last week, and a lot was made out of that entire scenario of him visiting varying areas. What was interesting to me was not so much his speech in the what you call the Congress, the twin houses of the Congress of the United States, and his various visits with personalities within the he went to several states in the United States, not only Washington, D.C., but I think he went to Baltimore. He also went to New York. But it was interesting to see his visit in Harlem, in New York, where he visited primarily, he went to several places, but the one that caught my attention was an urban gardening program in the middle of Harlem, which was done by an entrepreneur who was successful in his business but wanted to do more. And so he found an abandoned lot in Harlem, had it cleared out, and started a program with the schools in the area to do urban gardening. And that program has been so successful that they are actually feeding people in the neighborhood, sending their provisions to hospitals, to other places, people in the area that need food and vegetables. It's a very innovative program. It's within the middle of New York, where you would not, you know, who would think you would find any kind of growing of vegetables and plants within the center of a city, an area like Harlem? But he did. And it was such an extraordinary program that they invited the King of England, Charles III, to in fact go and to engage with the young people. And it was interesting to hear him engaging and seeing these young children, probably not more than 10, 11, 12 years old, speaking up very intelligently, explaining to the visitor exactly what they are doing and understanding the very science of what they were involved in, which is very, very good. Take a page. We here in Belize have been doing more and more focusing on trying to get our children involved in exactly that. We should have been doing that all along. Those of you old enough to remember that we had a program called REAP, I believe, not LEAP, it was REAP, it was the name of it. Anyway, it was a program that was introducing young people to the very idea of production, of using your hands and bringing forward vegetables and fruits, etc. And as I said, I don't know that that program is still active, not by that name, but I know that there are several schools that have introduced growing programs in their, as a part of their curriculum to try to allow the children to become sensitized. And we need that. We need that because, believe it or not, while we are a producing country, we still have a significant amount of our vegetables and other greenery that's still coming from across the border. So we can, in fact, do a lot with a program like that urban growing program that we see there. We want to say that our guests, I can hear them arriving, but I want to say that what we would want to do with the program today is to really engage you as our listeners and our viewers to really get engaged in this program this morning. Why? Because our guest is not somebody that really is a stranger to you at all. In fact, you know better than you know me. He was one of the pioneers of really engaging Belizeans in bringing their concerns publicly. We were always on the street corner talking about our business and making it very clear and plain. We don't open pocket person or people when it comes to nobody listening. But this particular brother and this particular station and this particular organization was innovative enough to produce a program and make sure that Belizeans had a voice. And this brother was the brother who pioneered that. I don't think that there was any other talk show person before Mr. Dickie Bradley. And he had a very innovative way in which he was able to engage on most of the issues affecting us. A lot of it was political, and it gave us an opportunity to be able to call and talk about people where they do we wrong. And as long as we don't call no name, and it became extremely popular. Anyway, he's moved away from the talk show forum and gone into a different forum, a legal forum, where he's doing almost the same thing at a different level, meaning trying to educate people on the issues of the law and what it means to stand up for your rights. But I still don't think that he is in the element that he ought to be in. I believe that Mr. Bradley ought to have his own regular weekly conversation with the public. He is versed in so many different areas of our development in Belize, not just politics, but several other areas. Anyway, I have tried to make it a habit to bring Mr. Bradley back here nothing less than once a month. I don't know if he realized that yet, that I got him caught up in how do you say, make him an offer that he can't refuse, that he has accepted. Welcome, my brother. Good that you
Morning. It's a beautiful morning that the Lord has made.
Yeah, it is indeed.
This used to be the official holiday period for school.
This is where I'm going to tell somebody.
You mentioned? Okay.
Yeah. No, I never said it today.
All
but
right,
that
yeah.
indeed is when it,
Because because this is when we have the best of our weather and the best of our fruits.
Yes.
All kind of fruit, custard apple,
Everything they out there now.
cocoa plum. When last week cocoa plum?
No, boy.
You have not been to the Keys.
You know where?
Yeah.
My last cocoa plum was from Kikaka.
What? No, cocoa plum not sweet.
Oh, okay.
But this is the period for the fruit, no? We changed because our people had started migrating to United States after Hurricane Hattie. And their holiday, what they call summer, literally a summer when their weather is good, we would not be able to make a trip and visit family.
What's the background of that? Sorry to interject, because I'm sure that a lot of us have not gone over that for some time, that we used to have our holiday at one time. What was the reason it was changed? I heard that it had a lot to do with trying to align
with
American education system and giving us summer, which we don't call summer. So do you know the background of that? Was it an official position?
Well, I don't know, but I can surmise. The original situation is that, of course, the British owned the country.
Yeah.
We have grown up to love.
Yeah.
And so we used to, even the few cars that were available, we used to drive on the other side of the street and the road. People don't know that the steering wheel was actually to the right side.
Yes, right.
As we began to fall more and more into worshiping the United States of America and adopting more of their ways and thinking and so forth, the vehicles that started to come here didn't come from England.
Yeah.
We started getting American vehicles and they drove the steering wheel left on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
And many other things, no? So basically what happened is it suited the British people who were here. If there's going to be a holiday, why don't have it when the weather is fine?
Yeah.
In the summertime when the weather is fine, you can step right up and touch the sky.
Yeah.
So I think that is where that comes from. And eventually we switched because we were more closely aligned with the United States of America. Many girls used to chase behind, and vice versa, the British soldiers who were stationed here in a fairly good number. It is my view that Ladyville, the village that is perhaps the biggest one on the Northern Highway, that was able to grow and develop so rapidly because one, the Lee Airport made it right front of Ladyville, and then you had this large contingent of British soldiers, and their money was like 4 of a pound. They call their money 1 pound, pound sterling. 4 Belize dollars was one of their dollars. So although they were soldiers, poorly paid in terms of the British, but then get down here, they're 4 times bigger than they are at home.
Yeah.
And so you had the British soldiers, and then on Wagner Lane, famous Wagner Lane, the most crowded lane in Belize City, never quarrelsome like Water Lane. Quarrel always did a Water Lane. But Wagner Lane, many you could hear when parents are scolding the young ladies just growing up. When they said in the smelling jars, you're the third woman too quick, they would encourage them to try and link up with a soldier because they want them to improve their color. You should try and improve your color because they're only them black people from and so on. So the British colonial indoctrination was brilliant and excellent.
Guess what I was wondering before when you said the name Ladyville and you were associating it with soldiers.
The development.
Where Ladyville come from? I wonder if Ladyville, I know they used to call that Mitchell Estates.
Because of the Mitchell family. There's an area still referred to as Mitchell Estates.
So I said, well, how you talking Ladyville? Is he leading now to say this is where the ladies were or whatever?
No, I think it's the Lady of Guadalupe and one of the saints that were there, but it just grew so quick because jobs were available, you could go. And then they had dances as well, you know, the soldiers them.
And they had a very famous bar up there in that
Yes,
area. Yes.
yes, and a famous whorehouse.
Yes.
You can't have lots of soulless, you can't have lots of men
Yeah.
and not cater to their sexual depravity, if I could borrow them old words there, no? There was a whorehouse on Regent, on Northfront Street.
Yes. Special club.
I know, I nearly call the name, not call people name, yeah? Not call people name. But I nearly call the name. It was a famous
Yes.
Vida Alegre,
Yes.
The Good Life.
That's right.
Yes, and you could pay. I don't know what was the fee. They have never paid to go have sex in any house.
But you notice how people used to walk on the other side of the street.
Yes, I don't want to close to the sin. I don't want to close to the sin. I could give a joke about that place, but I won't. In any event, I wanted to also, since you asked me, I wanted to jump fast forward. That I think one of the many attractive things, one of the attractive things about the United States of America to us, remember now, we don't colonial nothing. Once they got enough of exporting alligator skins, mahogany, chicle, where you get chewing gum from, and a couple other things, turtle was a big thing. Once that passed, we were on our own. We were just left to live in squalor.
Yeah. I want to jump in because I don't want it to pass and get your comments likewise. That was a major move on the part of Francis to decide that he would stay in Belize and get a triple bypass surgery.
That is amazing.
And I need you to talk about that because I mean,
first one on the list.
And the first thing per mile is likewise. It just
that has never happened.
That's large.
Yeah, that has never happened. People are Belize. What happens is that the elected representative of the people in our funny democracy that we are growing, ministers of government and members of the House of Representatives get a state insurance. The state pay money for you to be insured. When you stop being minister, when you stop being elected representative, you don't get that. That ceases. So that encourages and helps and assists the politicians in office, and I think it should be extended, if it is not, to those who are elected but are on the opposition side of the house. In any event, that is an encouragement to you, and it's also a big help that when you are sick, a big chunk of your expenses are taken over by an insurance. We don't know all the details, but when I received a text to say that Honorable Francis Fonseca had made a decision that he was satisfied and convinced, and given the urgency of the situation, that Belizean doctors, with their Cuban help, that we can provide incredible bypass surgery for the heart.
Yeah.
That is something where in Belize, once upon a time, you just die.
Yeah.
Like many other things. So the fact that a high-ranking minister of government, who's probably a 5 times area representative, made that decision to put his life in the hands of Belizean medical science and expertise says a lot of things. As Mr. Nouri is saying, the biggest respect goes to him to take that chance, because he could jump on an air ambulance and be in Miami in an hour, in 60 minutes and change time frame. It also says that the unfortunate incidents that occur at the Belize major hospital called KHMH, that we need to find a way to compartmentalize those things and look at the donut and not the whole. We need to watch the good things while we continue to learn and improve on the bad things. Wherever there are human beings, there are going to be mistakes. That's why we must always remember, with the police department, there are going to be rogue police officers. There are going to be officers who, once they put on a uniform, then change. Then turn something else.
I wanna say, because you're touching on something very important that you said a lot in just a few words. Firstly, Belize has one of the best cardiovascular surgeon in the Caribbean, headed by Dr. Koi, who was in Jamaica.
Yes, and who was in charge of KHMH at one time.
Yes, and this is an outstanding surgeon, and he is a heart specialist. So, you know, if Francis had chosen to go somewhere else,
yeah, you don't meet anybody better than
exactly.
Yeah.
But here's my point, though. It's not
Good
so
point.
much Francis as it is the way we done with self, man. All right. Take for example, right now, if you look at the statistics meaning the figures on the ground is saying that our crime situation is not out of control. But you ask the average person, why them police and why this crime and why we can't get rid of crime? So isn't there something in us, maybe it's a cultural thing,
you know, so
that we look down on our own situation more than we look at. So therefore somebody would look at Francis and say, why, what a crazy move, why you going to kill yourself? That thing is kill her.
Money.
Yeah, you know. So there's something to be said not only about Francis's decision to do his surgery here, but also about how we deal with our own issue. And
he would know, down. First of all, that particular minister would know more about the quality of the hospital than the average person out on the street. But you know, your question is a big question for a big debate. A portion of what you are articulating is in fact something we have been indoctrinated by our colonial experience, because the whole purpose of colonialism is a foreign country, a foreign people with their foreign culture and their racist and biased view towards non-white peoples, is that they would be teaching you openly as well as subtly that you are inferior to them, and that is one of the reasons why they are your masters. Before the colonial approach towards non-white peoples, there was the imperial approach. There was the outright naked use of force. I stronger than you, I attack you, I succeed, and I conquer you, and I own you. They used to own.
Oh yeah.
In fact, recently, the one and only, there's nobody like that, Donald Trump, becks with the Prime Minister of Britain for not doing what Britain usually do. Britain is a lapdog to the United States. There's never a war the Americans don't get in that the British no jump in, because they will get some contracts, they will build some planes, and they will make money. War is about make money. Because, you know, there's a song when you and I were growing up, war, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. No, it make a lot of people rich.
You got a lot of money in war.
So some of it is that we grow up with this view that was in our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, that then people, they're superior to me, and they're on higher levels. I just mentioned her and I was telling a girl, try lighten your color, try get a white man, try again, then call him limey. They don't like beard, you know, them people, but anyhow. So some of it is that, but also, Nuri, a lot of it is born by our own experience, the experience of our parents. Let me tell you one that brought to my attention. After Hurricane Hattie, the one and only bridge, swing bridge, couldn't swing. Apparently it got, something went wrong with it, and then Belinda was not practicing his magic at that time. And so what they had to do is they put a temporary cross across the river. It was referred to as a pontoon, where they used two bars and try to keep them steady and so on. Sure enough, what Creole said, pontoon killed some people. People think awry, and people drown. And that type of thing is our own experience.
Once you give me something, you aspire.
Because you know, when the city council was putting up some contraption by Yabra Bridge, which they told the nation, the city, when it rain hard and water come, that one suck out water. People pass and see it and hear and say, that's not working. Dickie, and just waste my money. Sure enough, that's not the work. and we could give you 1,000.
Yeah, we predict it. We
Yeah,
predict.
because
Hence the reason why everybody would drop the jaw and say, why would Francis
go there?
choose to go in a situation like that?
Because unlike them, but like me and you, Dr. Covey, who is the brother of the former minister, I think he's still a senator, Chris Covey. They're brothers, you know.
Oh, okay.
Well, they talk like either their uncle or something, but that kind of people, this is another thing which we don't appreciate, right?
Yeah.
It's not everybody going to come on CREM, first of all. CREM is controversial. CREM is treated as anti-government. The ministers, they don't too care for CREM. You know, I get no advertisement where they could send somewhere else. I saw a big advertisement from one of the banks on a tiny little station one night, and I said, I've never heard them advertise on CREM.
Yeah.
And it's a black man who is in charge of that bank. So, you know, CREM is anti the establishment. CREM will speak out and talk. Where else you going to find Nuri Mohammed, Yahya Marin, Mose Hyde? Where else the people
are concentrated
in the same area?
Yeah.
Something must be happening back here that attracts people who are not afraid, because you have suffered many years of victimization, subtle and not so subtle.
Yes, sir.
In fact, one of the reasons the Constitutional Committee thing crashed is because you were the first one to have seen and foreseen, because of your experience here at CREM, that thousands of citizens would better benefit by having a regular, it is only once a week. You put up a proposal and it was knocked down because of you and CREM. No? There is, Nuri, there is some truth that we are, like it's almost ingrained in our upbringing that we are a bit inferior to foreigners. Right? So a lot of con artists.
And so we make ourselves inferior.
And then if you think that, you become what you think. No, a lot of white people are con artists and cooks, and so con believe the Placencia and San Pedro and con for we people because they believe a lot of big story.
They come here as hippie, my brother. When they left here,
No, some of them are America's most wanted.
Listen, we need to take our first break for 2 cents scam. We come back, we got a long list of things. I want to talk to Dickie about this billboard in Belmopan, that actual company, because...
Not needed.
But the billboard is a scantily dressed young woman holding up the product bottle. It is an alcoholic beverage. And the idea is that it's a very sexualized, according to how some people are describing it, billboard. And the protest is like, we don't want that in a Belmopan.
I support them.
All right. And there is a large a religious sentiment behind it. Church Senator Louis Wade is at the point of despair and has been articulating the feelings of many others that we ought to do something about this. My question to you is not only the advertising, but the bigger picture of how we are dealing with this issue of alcohol. And give me a point here, Councillor, just let me make my question clear to you. Alcohol is a drug. There's no question about that. It is known that it is a drug.
And it's addictive.
It is very much addictive. In fact, more addictive than some of these others. However, it is not treated as if it is a drug. And not even the government has been courageous enough to call out the manufacturers of this legal drug, despite the fact that they are seeing the result of this undisciplined drinking, because they usually advertise it and say, well, this is for drinking responsibly and etc., etc. The majority of the people where they consume alcohol are not consuming it responsibly. And so we have like the accidents that continue to plague us on our roads. We are seeing the police report there was alcohol involved. So my question to you as a councillor now.
As a non-drinker, biased person.
Good, very important, very important that because you have a more sober approach of understanding. And Carla, we're going to open up the phone line so that you could be a part of this conversation. Just give us a time to lay the platform, please. Philip Morris, a major tobacco producer in the United States, Marlboro cigarettes, Cool cigarette, etc., 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 was taken to court and was found guilty and had to pay billions of dollars in health care, etc., etc., as a result of people who were smoking, meaning consuming their product, and dying as a result of it.
Lung cancer.
So I'm asking you as an attorney, is there some culpability there of the manufacturers of alcohol? We don't deal with just the advertising aspect now, but the actual manufacturing of it, and the fact that we are seeing the evidence that people who consume this product are in fact in a bad way. Not only accidents, but domestic violence, etc., etc. Is there a case?
I would think that lawyers can make a strong case, but around this basis. In the case of the cigarette, the tobacco industry, which has, in their case, their own internal scientific research on their product, they learned, I think from the 1940s or so, they learned that cigarette smoking is associated with lung cancer, throat cancer. They knew that. They ignored that and went on to continue to advertise their product in such a slick and attractive manner that persons would not even get the slightest idea that what you are doing when you fall for that is that you are harming yourself. So that is one point. In the case of rum in Belize, the big respect to Karim Musa, Minister Karim Musa, for publicly saying that we have to do something. We being there, the government, they're the ones that going slow and drag their feet and don't do anything. And so big respect that he says it.
Yes.
In fact, the first person you and I big up on that matter was Abelardo Hussein, Minister of Agriculture.
Yes.
He come out and said, rum, we need to deal with rum, with the Duck families and so on.
We did that.
So let me come back to first a slight legal issue, which is that we would need to show that the manufacturers of the product know that in the case of Badman, in the case of Red Top, which the minister called out, it's interesting that it's not Blue Top, it happens to be Red Top. But there are some products, alcoholic products, where the amount of the alcohol contents is very high. In Badman and Red Top, it is very high. And so, I mean, housewives use these things to bake their cake, they use it for other products because it has so much of a concentration of alcohol. So, the medical authorities in Belize, we need to call them out, then they let them down big time, because they should have a regular program every week where they tell us about foods which are healthy, foods which are not healthy. If you are deficient in calcium, what you can eat naturally that can bring up your calcium intake. If you are lacking in proteins or lots of things, these people know, they have knowledge. They are what Jesus condemned the liars for. You lie, woe unto you liars. In other words, terrible thing will happen to you because you know better. And you know they do anything about it, but worse, only they prevent others from giving out knowledge. So if Jesus himself could make a condemnation like that, in the world that we're living in, this is a big topic that you need to tackle, you know. One, the importation of foreign stuff, because we are importing cancer into our bodies. Man, the other day I went into a Chinese place, I won't call the name. I went in there and I was taken aback. The amount of refrigerator glass you could see in there, the amount of those coolants, everything. Nur Mohammed and our brothers and sisters who they listened to it this morning, the amount of imported drinks that stack up in there. I don't know if they have lots of this, that like some of this, so much, so many imported drinks, including coconut water, orange juice, something called Mississippi or Missouri watermelon juice. what the hell is wrong with our government and our people? That you have farmers in Belize who orange, banana, plantain, watermelon, everything go rich. They not even fertilize the soil. The soil is so rich and healthy. And you they drink contents which have in preservatives that are going to lead you to cancer. Huh? Not only that, listen, it's worse than that, because it's terrible, man. We should not be drinking or eating anything that is imported unless hurricane smash you up and have to go eat the pig and so. But please, people, please, you have to start. You must remember, every time I brought an apple, because this is the thing where they misunderstand and say, oh, Adam and Eve, no? Adam and Eve, they hide in private, but our apple they eat. Anyhow.
But I don't want you to lose the...
No, I want to come back by saying...
I want to connect the legal aspect.
Yes, I want to say that in addition to the fact that we are contributing to our own poverty when we eat and drink imported stuff, the specific issue is that we could make rum, we could make beer. We are making rum, we are making beer. But like everything else, the devil begin at the apple, because the manufacturer senses and knows from the sales which of these alcoholic products sell the most and sell the quickest. And Red Top, Badman are only two are the examples that come readily to mind.
Calling cheap.
Because one is cheap, and because it's so strong, everybody could get one high off and one bit of bottle. That's the thing when you're poor, you destroy yourself and you don't know.
Yes.
So manufacturers by now would have the information that we, the citizens, have or should have, that very strong alcohol is not something you throw down your throat. There's going to be consequences, my brothers and my sisters. And Nuri, the sad thing about drinking is that because of hard time, because of there are many things that surround this Cinderella syndrome. Yeah. We all want to be the boy, we all want to dress up like this and look good and have with nails and with hair and so on. So I saw a man with woman fingernail the other day. Yes, you brave.
It get far.
You brave.
Yes, man.
Where the man here passed away, don't have to start to guitar. So the manufacturer who make the rum that Belize, who label it and sell it that Belize, he know that strong rum is not the best alcohol for people to drink.
So how do you get that into a legal framework?
Well,
does he have to have?
You'd have to
in
have
the case of Philip Morris, they may know the research.
The science is there. The science is there. We don't have it here.
Okay.
So you would have to have medical people say,
all right,
this man developed his cancer as a consequence of drinking alcohol.
What about the accidents that the evidence is there from the police report?
That wrong mechanism, right? Like that?
And also
you couldn't blame the manufacturer, because drinking any alcohol impair your normal senses.
Okay.
The more you drink, the more it is impaired. You might not even realize you to go fast, or as fast as you are.
Yeah.
But which one of the wrong make you do that? You see, and an important legal defense. So legal defense is like nobody forces you to drink it. Me not tell you drink that. I don't make that for any weak people like you. I make that for using a cake.
So would that be the legal defense, that I never force you to drink that you drink it, and therefore the result of that, and then this man drink as much as you, but he drive a car and got no problem.
Yeah, a lot of man say they drink Red Top and come out. And they drink that right.
So is that saying that we're in a quagmire, that we just have to sit there and watch that people die on the highways and do nothing about it, or we are just the look for advertisement and the thing and say the advertisement is not the problem if we know the deal with the reason why it's there. You understand?
In a capitalist society, you could advertise.
Yeah, you're free to advertise.
Just about anything.
But what I think Pastor Wade and I think so many others are doing is trying to bring a moral equation into our reasoning. We don't want to do that. We don't want to go there because...
I support that.
No, man, of course we support it. But we know that like one who you egg. Somebody wants to say, well, why you they touch
Yeah,
that?
because
Like when you
people
touch, like when they touch the weed. When they touch the weed and say, well, you they touch the weed, but how come you know they touch the alcohol?
Well, then they touch the alcohol, no.
That one who you egg, you understand what I'm trying to say? You are totally
No, because you know why, me and you know why we should support and the right thinking members of our society should support maybe not the churches, but although they should all be speaking with one voice, because in Belize is a unique country, you know?
Very unique,
in this
brother.
very unique, disgusting country we have here, can't get the correct leaders. Lord, we pray for good leaders.
Yeah.
Hear our prayer.
Yeah.
The situation is that from a moral perspective, we have reached the stage in Belize where morality is not of any high currency.
But don't you say in the legal profession that you cannot legislate morality? That
No, you
morality
can't. I
is
heard the
here?
minister, I heard somebody saying when the minister had spoken, somebody may have said something about they want to increase the tax. They call it the sin taxes.
Yes.
All the bad things they want to do, they want to increase the tax.
Yes.
Well, make them smoke weed and put tax on it then.
Yes.
So that no help. A man where want smoke,
Yeah.
if one cigarette go up 25 cents, he want shot the family if he smoke a cigarette.
Exactly, sir.
If rum go up an extra dollar, they want shot
Thank you,
somewhere.
sir. That's the
to
nature
drink
of
it.
addiction.
Because
indeed.
human beings are like that.
Can we take a break? Get our next. We're
No,
gonna.
not take no break because we're breaking too long.
Well, if we had that luxury, we'll take the break. We'll be back. We promise you to open the phone line. There's somebody that is very insistent that I don't care what you say. I want to talk. No, but please, we're asking you. We're going to open up the phone line. That's the reason why Counselor came in early, to ensure that the last part of the program, it'll be you.
Yeah.
So please, bear with us. Thank you. Let's go to the break.
Finish off that by saying,
we will open up the phone lines as soon as we have completed. We have an anxious caller that has been continually calling. We will open the phone lines. I shouldn't have to say it so many times, but we're trying to get you to...
Let me finish off the alcohol thing.
Yeah, let's do that.
I thought someone had said somewhere on the media that the government is looking at increasing the sin taxes. They call taxes against smoking and drinking and other things. That will not solve the problem. The government have to be a man. The society is facing a serious challenge where it appears, because we are a nation where we don't do polling, we don't do research, we don't have no data, whatever it is, we just go by what we see, and when we speak to others and they see the same thing, we feel there has to be some concern here. So our view is that in the society, there is this view that we are drinking too much, that a lot of time is being spent by the younger generation, the last generation. Let's hope they're not the last generation. But that generation who don't have no kind of anchor. And it's the women who are drinking a lot too.
Yes, that's the new
we can't afford that. The man then are done waste their time already. They are merely sperm donors, and they know they contribute as much as they can and should to the family, to the raising of the children. You and the woman can't get along, the woman and you can't get along, the picnic enough to suffer as a consequence. But in terms of, say, make we tackle the rum drinking mania that is setting into the society, is because on the one hand, and of course these are personal opinions, but on the one hand, there's too much idle time. People are not doing anything constructive with their time. The government needs to put more money into scouts and girl guides and sea scouts. And we need many of our productive people who sit down home and watch television, not necessarily to hug up the rum, to be able to take time out to visit the hospitals, to make at least small contribution there with their time, because no money not there again like one time. But certainly to tackle the alcohol problem that has set in and the spread. When I pass through the villages and things like that, you see the young boy there in front of the Chinese shop, they drink. No, the police go move them because when they go in and they're going to drink somewhere else. That is not the problem.
And
The
that's a
problem,
sad thing to see in a
Sure.
village, man. Yeah.
Of all places.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So,
Because it's like the virus that affected us in the city has now moved into the villages.
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Because you
Well,
used
they
to-
say that idle minds are the devil's workshop.
Yeah, well,
But we
see.
create the idleness by
Yeah.
not having enough sporting activities,
Yes.
cultural activities.
Yes. So
and
what
forth.
can government do?
Government need to come straight out and say, through its medical and scientific community, because the Ministry of Health has a responsibility for this.
Indeed.
They need to come forward and let us get the message from the doctors and the nurses that drinking alcohol is going to lead to several problems. I have tried in my little 10 cents way to say to people 1 or 2 times, like, why for the first 10 years and so you don't feel like you're a lion, you're a sex out your woman, then like you're a Selassie I. But down the road, one of the effects alcohol does to human beings, to men, is that it make your private impotent.
Not
You want-
important.
Important to impotent. You went from being very important.
Important.
Boy, my boy, they in a marathon. Man,
Yeah.
yeah, all right. Full on with the rum and see what happened.
Yeah.
Especially the strong rum where they give, you know. That is an intentional way to make you get addicted to this alcohol, which is not healthy, man. Ain't nothing wrong if you could control taking a drink and talk with your friend and so, but all you want to do is drink. And our women at the wedding go out to go drink and going home
Now it's
half
become
drunk.
that. Yeah.
We
You know
can't
what?
build society like that.
you know
Yeah, so
what-
I support the churches.
Yes.
They need to come out much stronger. They need to tackle this thing up front. Because while I agree that you can't put up no big advertisement, they put half-naked women to promote a product which is harmful.
Yes, yes.
You have to
indeed.
look at the bigger picture as well. There are
Yeah.
too many things which are harmful, which are not being tackled.
Yes, indeed.
So we could move off from that one. We are against encouraging, enticing our young generation to turn to certain alcoholic products. Alcohol is not good. We know what, do you know that in the United States of America they amended their constitution to ban alcohol production, you know?
Yes, indeed.
They did that, and then all the gangsters and the criminal people get involved in producing moonshine.
Yeah.
They want to make it.
Yeah.
It's just like weed. It is a waste of time in the country of Belize to have the police and the courts and the whole system be full on with arrest people, detain people, lock up people, search people, busting at their yard and their house because of marijuana. That is stupid and backward. Because there is no kind of comparison. Nobody where they smoke weed, no they crash and kill up people and they beat up their woman in their house and so, but rum make them do it.
Yeah.
Rum turn them into they think they're not with the thing name.
Yeah, and they lose their sense.
You're not the fight against the rum, but you're the fight against the weed. They don't
Yeah.
waste time. Nothing police do could stop people from smoke weed.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah.
We have a bigger problem.
I want to look at another thing before we move off the alcohol. Using again the United States as a kind of a laboratory to look at how they have dealt with their problems, because their alcohol problem is worse than ours and have had even more debilitating effect on their society than ours. Ours is moving faster because we're smaller. But America recognized a long time ago. You take, for example, drunk driving. If you get caught as a drunk driver,
In trouble?
you in serious, serious trouble in the United States.
Yeah.
50 years ago, you could get away. You had a little drunk.
They have seen the effects, yeah.
And now they are strict on that.
Yeah,
You will lose your license, you get locked up, etc. Again, mothers who have lost their children have a thing there in America called MAD.
Yeah.
Where
Mothers against drinking.
yes. So it's not only waiting for government to do something, but it's you who have lost loved ones on highway because you know one drunk driver was there. It's our highways that are so bleak at night that even if you know the drink,
Yes, yeah.
you have to be very,
The
very
accident trap.
Yes, so therefore there's a responsibility there.
Yeah.
Also, Brother Dickie, that when you think about how the United States responds to some of their social problems, They don't just wait for the government to step up, but they recognize that, look, we got one
But
responsibility.
we don't have that culture.
But we need to build and develop
Yes.
and bring up that culture.
But until then,
yeah, we have to do it.
the media, some of the media, they are so tame and lame.
They don't want
They don't make no criticism.
Maybe because of the advertising.
government is too slow to tackle the social ills of the country.
Yeah.
The biggest social ills, I tell you, the biggest social ills, poverty and ignorance.
Absolutely.
There is no ministry for poverty reduction. Nobody dey study poor people. You know, make and leave first and show and reborn after, you know. You know, in the great civilization called the Roman Empire, they build these big called amphitheaters, these big stadiums that could hold a lot of people. And they have all kind of entertainment in the gladiators want to fight with sword and spear and thing. Most of them are slaves who were conquered from other countries. They bring lion in them, man have to fight lions,
Yes.
so everybody could get big entertainment. When Christianity was being attacked by the Romans, they used to put them on a lot of cross in the amphitheater.
And they had a good time.
Set them fire.
And wine was a major part.
Oh hell man,
of that.
even the Roman Empire is
Yeah,
more.
yes.
In fact, there's a thing that
With Nero.
Nero fiddled while
Yes.
Rome burst because he wanted to be a musician or Jay-Z.
And he wanted to enjoy
And get
fun,
inspired.
frivolity. Yeah,
But
yeah,
our
yeah.
point is this, that you cannot wait on your government. By now you have seen blue and red that listen, ministers, politicians, they stay away from controversial matters. They don't go there. If you don't bring it up, they don't bring it up. There's never a meeting at the House of Representatives where they dedicate time to talk about the problem of alcohol in the society, or to talk about gang violence in the society, or violence in general. They never have time. 1 or 2 minutes, I want profile, want to talk about domestic violence. Although nothing changes with that. But the problem is, Nuri is wrong to even bring up the kind of America, then see how government slow and their kind of government is like wrong. But in belief, you got to put pressure upon the people and make a decision. Every time something happens, you know, call the media and say that sick any politician no want get in and solve the problem. All problems have solution. There's not a problem we don't have one solution. And one of the reasons why, and you might not believe this, I reluctantly come here for the hour and make enemies with people in high places, is because all of we can't keep remote shut. All the way, you know what happened?
Too much safety, man. Everybody be
lot
cautious.
of we get the education and we just use the education for our own self and our own benefit and so, but the society we are living in is not getting better. When the churches, or when a segment of the church, and big respect Pastor Wade, when a segment of the churches zero in on the large advertisements of an unhealthy product with an unhealthy image, it is unfair. When I drive, I have to try hard to not look for anything too long, you know, because they are very attractive. There's one somewhere around Water Lane, Muscle Street, there were some half-naked girl, they advertise. I don't want to condemn the product, it's a local product, but we have come like America, take sexy body to promote anything. You want to promote a car, you see a half-naked woman. You want to promote cigarette, you see a half-naked. Everything that's, you know, that is a sick society. We don't want to parody them. We don't want to follow them. Please, so I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad that Nuri has brought it up publicly. Not encourage them for the naked up our women just to promote a product. That is going worse than America, man.
And I've said this before we take this next break. I've been to Spanish Lookout recently. I don't see none of any kind of advertisement
no, man,
there.
The society, no.
So it means that the product producer, when they go to them PR people and say, well,
coffee.
We can't, we know where I sell. You don't sell a minute.
The Creole and the Spanish, they want gin.
You know, you put nothing up there, you know, because, but as the Mennonite protects their society, we got to have the same conscience to protect our society. We take the next break and we'll be right back.
When the job demands more, Milwaukee Power Tools are designed to handle the toughest jobs on the construction site. If it's speed, durability, and performance you need, Milwaukee is the perfect choice. for unstoppable power at an unbeatable price.
Deal
I
with.
wanted to squeeze in very quickly. I have 9 matters.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
well,
now
no,
look at
I
mine.
wanted to squeeze in. Let me start with this one. That 2 of my colleagues in the legal profession brought to my attention yesterday that CREM, and only CREM does these things, Mose was bringing up what is an obvious problem, but the solution is a little hard. That a person who had been investigated and charged by the police, taken to court for molesting a minor, has now been investigated and arrested and charged for molesting another minor. In other words, he has committed, he's allegedly committed the offense 2 separate times with a big time frame in between. So that he was granted bail on the first occasion, he's out on bail, and clearly something is wrong, that he's accused of doing the same thing again.
Yeah.
So Mose was conducting an excellent discussion according to my friends, and people were contributing. And I want to share this with your viewers and listeners. In relation to crack and the same matter of alcohol, persons are arrested and taken to court. There is a need in Belize. We don't reach the stage yet with child molesters, pedophiles, and sex deviants or whatever.
Yeah.
We haven't reached there, but it's time we start discussing it. And so, when the government may come with this stupid business about 13th Amendment, they may want to come to a court where they deal with just lock up all them boys and they go to jail 5 years. I think they want to increase the amount. Can I jail for 20 years? It no matter to them. That's a financial solution. Any short-term, quick fix thing will look like the public want to bite on that, throw that to them, and solve the problem. I was in court and I saw a lady. The police said to me later, and I could suspect, that she's a crackhead. Sorry if you use that term. When I put a curly, crack is a killer.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston, when they accuse she, they take crack or take cocaine, she may say, crack the whack, kind of depend on that. Poor thing. But you could just see, right? So anyhow, she got in trouble and they are denying her bail, and she was not given bail because they don't want crackhead and they go out, they go maybe offend again. Men, I think like for at least minimum 15, 20 odd years, in the judicial system, there has been talk that we need a court, or we need a section of the court, where when you have persons who are addicted to drugs and they become a nuisance to the society, or they are a risk to their own children and family and they neglect them and so on, you need to have people who have some insight and background to deal with that.
Yes.
You don't drag me into criminal court and then you send me to jail. How does that help?
Isn't that almost like dealing with people with mental health issues?
Well, unfortunately, you see, we'll bring up another system where we have
then just throw them in a jail.
Dr. Lyndon Jones, one of the brightest of the new attorneys that have come back and is helping in the criminal section. A lot of lawyers don't know nothing to deal with that. I understand that. But Dr. Jones was saying to me, of the number of persons, which numbers over 40 mentally ill persons on the face of it, who when they take them to court, the court can see, the magistrate can say that the way the answer or not the answer, the way the conduct itself, just in that short space of time, the court carries out the duty it has. That maybe we need to do an evaluation on this person. The type of crime, maybe how we do it, or how it's alleged to have, and so 40 odd persons are in prison, remanded, they're not convicted, they're just sent there to get a psychiatric analysis. So the court no chance on crazy man then. And that is the law. Guess what? There is no psychiatrist.
No psychiatrist, man.
You take somebody who maybe the family struggle to try to help them. I know in a personal case, I go to the police many times. We get the person and we take him to the clinic and they give one injection. They help him if he sleep. They help him in the mind for rest. But, it's a complicated matter. But listen, we need to do it. We are probably the only society. We are probably the only society that does not have a hospital for mentally ill persons.
Yeah.
Oh, you're here and they have mental health week. And oh, they're in Italy and they're in all exotic places that these conferences and so, but on the ground,
there's nothing
people
there.
walk out there in a
Nothing
sun
there.
hat.
Nothing there. We got a number of other areas.
Well, I
there.
wanted to bring up this other matter.
Yeah, I just wanted,
quickly do this.
just as a program note, tomorrow our guest is psychologist Dr. Michael Medina, who will be touching on exactly this issue of mental
mentally
health
disturbed
disorders.
persons that need help, no?
Yeah, go
Let
ahead.
me hurry say this. And this is coming from Krim. This is coming through Krim. Come like the Lebanese poet, Khalil Gibran.
Yes.
No, he never said the moving finger, right? He said,
That's Omar
your
Khayyam.
children, yes, that is Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam.
Yes, yeah.
But Khalil Gibran has said that your children, though they come through you, they come not from you.
Exactly.
You have to remember your responsibility.
Exactly.
That comes from the universe, that comes from the maker of it.
Indeed.
So this is coming from Krim, through Krim, that we need in the society to have a police appreciation day.
Boy, say that again.
We need in the society of Belize, where we have 3,000 police officers, many are near good, decent citizens, many, the majority, we need to formally have a police appreciation day.
Yeah.
And new minister of the police don't do what the other ministers they do. Just come in and do the same thing and nothing change, nothing improve. You need a proper trained human resource. You need personnel managers in the police department. It is too big to expect the commissioner to be in charge of operations, strategy, crime fighting, and all the other responsibilities for him to be backed down over personnel matters. Lot of police are dissatisfied and frustrated with how they are treated. People get promoted and not get their salary. People get letter and they're promoted and they not get their uniform and not get their stripe. I know one of the best police prosecutors I saw the letter that he's been offered a promotion from sergeant to probably inspector, but he has to take up the post in a village down south. This was a prosecutor, a man who for years distinguished himself among lawyers as challenging their views, doing the research, win a case. I wish I could call a name, but they are victimizing if I do so. And let me show, same as how we really have come to maximum respect our teachers and our nurses and doctors, we need to take the view that yes, there are rogue police officers. Yes, like in any gathering, any kind of numbers of people, there's someone want to be gay, someone want to be bad, someone want to be on drug, someone are alcoholic and so on. But the vast majority of police
doing their
officers have a responsibility that
but
they
you know,
take on.
you're making an extreme, boy, that is an extremely important point, because I think the police are acknowledged and they have certain things, but it's among themselves. What you're saying, or what I hear you saying,
the
is that
society.
we as a society,
Yeah, man, we
as a
appreciate
society, we don't show appreciation.
and it's coming
to
from the
police.
critic of the police. It's coming from the
Yes,
critic of the
yes,
police.
yes.
I want to also raise another matter. And while my mind is going like that, I want to big up Leonora Flowers, president of the union, a hard union which could cause big problems, I believe.
Yes,
and she's battling and fighting the system.
Right,
And so, big respect to all union leaders in this country.
Yes,
of
yes.
course, we only need them. In fact, only the media and the union we have left.
Yes.
So, only the media. And
That's it. That's it.
After that,
That's
by
it.
the way, big congratulations to Jules Vasquez and the staff at Channel 7. They
For
won
winning an
a
award.
journalism award.
Yes,
no?
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
and,
yes.
and a matter that is clear, the system don't care about that.
What is the story?
The story is that police kidnapped a man named Budna.
Yeah.
And not a single soul has been arrested.
Yeah.
Nobody has been dismissed out of the police force.
Yeah.
There's a massive cover-up, and that matter is just going to be. But
Somebody told me the other day and say, boy, you know, if one dog come in our area and Lego a thing, the whole room smell up. Nobody know him want to go in the room. He said, but if you don't clean that, after a while people walk right into the room and then you
used to
recognize
it.
it. Yeah. Okay. So we could get used to one thing, even though it wrong, we just not talk about it anymore.
that they happen to be the
Anyway,
society.
listen,
Yeah.
our numbers are 2805848. Please call in now and we will entertain your calls for Mr. Bradley. I got some other points I want to make also.
You could squeeze that in as a go.
Yeah. Here's a call. Welcome, caller. Thank you for your patience.
Good morning, Nuri Mohammed and the great Richard Dickie Bradley.
Not swell, man. They don't deserve it.
Oh, boy. Welcome, sir.
You all are my favorite duo once a week. Pity that you only go for 1 hour.
Yes, sir.
Listen to me carefully. The Bible is made of 2 eras. The Old Testament, the New Testament. The East is made up of the pre-independence and the post-independence era. I have lived both. I work both. No, let's go to the pre-independence. What you all are saying is exactly what was in the pre-independence era. Not mind some people call it colonial. The British left us in 1964. Let's get it straight. They left us. We used to do what we feel like doing. We opened the Punta Gorda Road. I went to London to borrow money to put electricity because the country never have, etc., etc. But here I come, and I think so Richard can tell me what happened to our legal system the day after independence. And I tell you why. Before independence, we went into independence with only 2 persons remanded for murder.
Oh, we have ruined.
Who murdered the
Cod.
By my before. 2 murders. The slave was clean. We had 184 prisoners in jail, in prison. I was minister of prison once, so I know more of this. As independence came, the gates of hell broke open, and we got into 34 murders. I forget the year. 34 murders. And it gone up to the time to 146. Then those laws.
I have a long answer for you, caller. Esteemed caller representing the Cayo district. I have a long answer for you. So bear with me because we are watching the clock as well. The clock man, they right in here, they do the clock. Let me tell you something. First of all,
okay, where the laws of truancy, beggars to disturb the peace, etc., etc., those have been suspended. I can go to Belize and so on, banana peel. You got the police, I know you may not.
Yeah, it has broken down. Yeah.
The picture of the chair of the hazard, I am paid $25.
All right. Thanks.
Let's get
it long.
What may have happened.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, John.
First of all, sir, thanks for calling. You are a gem. You are a special human being.
Yes.
And I am honored that you called while I am here for a few minutes. I have a long answer and I will try to make it short. On the 1st of August of this year, it will be a national holiday where we pay nominal lip service to the end of slavery. There was a time, sir, when black people, not the Garinago, the black Creoles, were the vast majority of the population of the country. Because of migration into Belize, that has significantly changed.
Just a minute,
Yeah, bear only patience with the caller. One answer one thing. What has happened is that...
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hold on a second, caller, please.
What has happened is that we have been struggling to get our independence from the British government for such a very long time that we lost some of the important things on the journey. On the journey out of slavery from Egypt for the children of the Israelites during the period when it was decided that time for them to stop the journey, they are going to get their independence and their country. That is when the great leader Moses, who never did reach the promised land because he was upstart to God, according to the Old Testament, he talked back to God. which is the first sign of indiscipline. But along the way, this is where all those major teachings and indoctrination arrived, including the 10 Commandments. Moses wrote many, many commandments. So we had a journey, but we learned nothing along the way because we gave up. If it was not for people like Mr. Silva and the many supporters of George Price, that we would probably not have gotten our independence. But from independence 81 till now, the world has changed. We have been completely indoctrinated by the culture from the United States of America, which has to do with drugs and nakedness and disrespect for women and a failure to do some basic things in the society. That's the big problem we face.
All right. Welcome, caller.
Okay, good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Wise Council. How you all do?
Morning. We're good. How are you?
Yeah, I've called this station a couple times ago to record my chagrin with the office of the DPM, his constituency office in the Lee City.
Yeah, but you caller, you've called before, so you've got to make it really short because you've given us this before.
Give me seconds, I will wrap this up.
All right.
From last year, I've been trying to procure some documents from him, and sometimes every time he say come down, and I go there. Sometimes I go there 6 days a week, nothing from one life to the next life. I left it with the security guard. I left it with me so and so and so. I live out district. Every time I go there, I'm spending between $7,500 in gas alone.
Yeah.
Someone have some sober mind? Thank you.
All right, sir. Good.
I want to call out a lady named Kalani. She will know who she is because she has asked me for a copy of one of my favorite books, Animal Farm. And I had it. I took it to the office. I took it back. I had it in my vehicle. So can I tell you, don't contact me right now because somebody else beat you to the punch. They saw it and they wanted to hurry read it, and in fact, I couldn't resist. So I said, long as you return it, which of course will not happen. That's why I don't lend out books. But I'll get another copy for you because I'm glad that your interest remains.
It's 2805848. Let's go ahead and take this last break and come back, and it'll
next break?
Lone phone calls. Yeah.
Maria's
Had a conversation with her.
What they call it, the director's cut.
Yeah.
2805848, and we welcome you to call. And
all right, Nuri, you know what
Yeah.
I was thinking when I got up this morning? I said, oh man, why make Nuri talk me to go on radio
yes,
and TV?
I'm
But
glad you accepted, brother, and a lot of
But,
people out there are also glad that you accepted.
I
And by
finished-
the way, I get a lot of feedback from people in the diaspora when you're on. By the way,
speaking of that, you
Yeah,
know,
they
Belize
really
need
get
to
it.
start to have a directory for the diaspora, you know. Whoever want, we should have the names of all our people who are living in LA and Chicago, New York, Miami, and we should have, you know, they're talking about diaspora.
But Iceman want that, man.
They don't got that.
They don't you need.
They don't got that. You know, when my mother first got to New York, I want to tell you, my mother is the daughter of a person who was a lighthouse keeper. Very, very poor people, but disciplined.
Yes.
My mom
Yeah.
ended up working 2 jobs
Yeah.
and buying a home in
Yes,
New
you told
York,
us
New
last
York,
time.
yeah.
Yes, success. Welcome, brother.
Good morning, Nuri and Dickie.
Yes,
Morning.
sir. Good morning, Mr. Mario.
Yeah, yes. I remember being in the States and I was trying to get my CDL license for driving the trucks across country. And I remember my instructor on the truck teaching me and guiding me. And we were going through Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma. And he said to me, do you know that the American Indians here in America have the highest rate of suicidal deaths
And alcoholism.
and alcoholism? I says, really? I didn't know that. He says, well, I want you to do me one favor. I want you to keep this truck steady. If any of them should ever run across the road and try and commit suicide, you do not swerve this 18-wheeler truck. Keep it steady. If you have to run them over, do so.
Wow.
But do not try
Kill yourself.
to kill
Don't kill
you
yourself.
and I. because it's going to be a major disaster on the highway. And I didn't know that they had such high death rate, and that, well, the American Indians especially, right?
Yeah.
Committing.
That has been a reality for the last 35 years, sir. I read that way back, and it's a tragedy, man, especially when you know the history of the Native American. But that idea of him running across the highway and your instructor telling you, just get and run them over, that are like people will run over dog and animals in Belize.
No.
Yeah,
you know.
I know. And I'm looking
It's
at
either
it
them or him.
Oh, you serious?
Yeah. Because really, with an 18-wheeler, indeed, you try to bring that under control, you could cause a lot more damage than just that person.
Damage.
You know, it's
And
understandable.
another point I wanted was to, in
But
America,
sir,
if you smoke,
Sir, let me interject for just half a minute. The drinking of alcohol, the taking of drugs in any large communities is a sign that it's a symptom. It's a sign that something is going wrong. The West used to say how communism is so decadent and so offers nothing to the human spirit, that is the reason why everybody that Russia they drink. All they do they drink the Russia. And so what you have just raised, which is now a fact, that these people, the original people in North America, that they were run off their own land, put into concentration camps, signed false treaties where they thought they would be left alone to roam and so on and so forth. The fact is that Nuri says that he read about that 30 years ago. For over hundreds of years, these people have been forced into. In fact, they used to give them rum so that they could get wild and shoot them down and so on.
Yeah.
So I ask the question now. Is there a symptom or more than one symptom that we in the Creole community of Belize, especially on the south side of Belize City, have sort of like become so weak that lot of way they give in to smoke weed, smoke cigarettes and drink rum instead of with the help with Girl Guides and Scouts and Sea Scouts and other things which are more productive? When you see large numbers of young people, they live just to drink rum, something wrong.
Yes, I was just going to get to that point, Dickie.
Okay.
In America, they have on the back of the cigarette, smoke at your own risk, or Surgeon General said something on the back
we have it on
of
our
the cigarette.
They have done that here. I remember Dr. Vanzi is the one that insisted that they do that in Belize. That's been on Belize cigarettes now for about 20 years. It hasn't slowed down the smoking, by the way.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know that the cigarette, if you hold up the cigarette, you're going to see some gray lines going around the cigarette. I didn't realize that was gunpowder. The gunpowder keep it lit from one circle going down. If you light a weed, you have to light it more than one time to keep it lit, right?
We wouldn't know.
But with the cigarette, it stay lit all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was gunpowder that keep it lit from one ring to the other.
It's funny, I've never heard that, because that would mean that you're dead from the gunpowder more than from the nicotine, you know. But thank you for the information, bro. We're going to try to get some more calls this morning. Thank you. Take care. 280-5848. We have no more ads, so you're free to call in now before the end of the show. But here we go again. Welcome, caller.
Hello, Dickie and this is Sandra Coy.
Welcome.
Good morning.
This is American situation. At the beginning of the 80s, a study was done of children born to Native American parents, where both parents were alcoholics. And all the children, there was not one in the study that was not neurological errors that, and as a consequence, demonstrated psychological impairment. None. And when you study the black population in the United States, when you study, because colonialism is not a domination of Europeans. Long before the Europeans expanded across the Atlantic, colonies were being created by the Romans, by the Chinese, all over. And in every instance, but particularly in the latest colonization process, what you see is
a mechanism is set in place to control the population, the enslaved/colonized population. They can't afford for that population to rise up. So what did they do? What did the Romans do with their own people who were separated from their lands by taxation? They turned them into an urban lumpen proletariat that Karl Marx would call, who had nothing to do. They were the people who made up the population that attended the Colosseum to see the gladiator fights and all of that. It was they. And it was also they who would convert to Christianity down the way. Because there comes a point in time when a population becomes tired of being aimless, mindless, and undisciplined and all of that goes with it. And we are in the same trap as the Native Americans. Why have they done it to the Native? That has been done to the Native Americans, to the First Nation people. That has been done to them. It's not that they chose to become alcoholics. That was done to them because the liquor that was being sent to them was liquor that was made in Europe. Its origins were in Europe. That was fed to them. And then when they began sugar production and rum in the Americas, they gave it to them. So alcohol has been used as a control mechanism, particularly of the young, as is now marijuana and cocaine and all of that. But we don't want to admit it and accept it, Nuri and Dickie. We do not want, right on this very radio, along with all the other radio stations when they were legalizing the 10 gram, everybody was busy promoting it. Nobody stopped to question what is being done to the young. One minister even told us that, probably because they're going to become laid back. I don't remember the term he used, but that was what he wanted to say. They were going to become laid back and happy. Which laid back and happy? Go to Honduras in Ocotepeque, Department of Ocotepeque, Tencenti. They put up a sign in all the health centers. Do not have intercourse with your partner for 48 hours if you have been drinking. Because rum affects sperm production.
Can I say this, Sandra?
And if rum affects sperm, you don't think it affects the egg too?
Yeah. Sandra, can I just interject? I want you to continue, but there was a doctor, and maybe I should mention his name. You know, he was, of course, a pediatrician at the Karl Kushner Memorial Hospital. He stopped me one time. This was almost 25 or 12 years ago. He said, Nuri, do you know the extent of brain damage that we will be seeing in our young population because of the level of alcohol consumption on the part of their mother and the diet that they have, that the brain of the child is not being properly developed? So you're telling me the same thing that you see what has happened with the Native American. It's not a formula just there. You remember you and I used to talk about the Boxer Rebellion and what the British did to make sure that these people who would consume opium. So I'm sorry to disturb you. Go ahead, Emmett.
We have to be prepared. And our local political class has no interest in correcting the matter. Not only our political class, all over the Caribbean and Latin America, because they have accepted that as a mechanism of control. And remember, the reason for the present Gaza Middle East conflict is because the Muslim Arabs, am I right or wrong, Nuri, are prohibited from the use of alcohol. Is that right or wrong?
That is right. That is correct.
Prohibited. And the United States and the Western world do not want, they want to be able to access the Middle Eastern young. They want control over them. They don't have the control because the adults have prohibited. Nobody, not the adults and not the young, are supposed to use alcohol. Not that they don't. The Christian Lebanese use it. And now with Bin Salman and all of them opening Qatar, UAE, and Saudi Arabia, they seem to want to create two societies. One that can drink and do what they want, be totally hedonistic, and then the other set are going to be their local population.
It is a
How
huge
that's going to
argument.
work?
It's a huge argument right now within the Muslim community about dealing with the tolerance level of some of these societies.
Exactly, because we have to accept that we are on that is a method of controlling us, and our local leadership ain't going to do nothing about it because they want to control us also, and then they are beholden to that outside imperial force that wants us under control. So they're not going. We can't. Who are we going to look to? The local leadership and the foreign leadership are in bed together.
Yeah.
Let us accept that, right or wrong. They're in bed together. But you don't do no correction that it is us who have to make up our minds that we will walk away, turn away from the Coke bottle, turn away from the rum bottle, turn away from it, walk away from it. We have to make that decision because they are not, and by the way, they get taxed out of it, excise tax right around it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The local production, even if we don't import, we are making it, and we look at the amount of drunkenness among the female population in this country.
Yeah. You know what somebody told me when I brought this matter up? An official told me, say, well, Nuri, you know how much people are employed in that industry? We can't afford to interfere with that. That's employment. We
What I told you?
That's what they told me.
It's a financial consideration. That's
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
Right, Thomas.
All right. So we're almost at the end. We are at the end, but
We're almost.
it is your turn.
I have on my
I won't
phone,
take any more calls unless it's forced in.
I
But
have on my phone a thing here, Mark. Labor Education Session 2026. Rights and responsibilities of workers and employers.
coming out of Kareem's ministry.
Yes, the Labor Department begin there,
Right.
and it also has the full support of the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry
Okay.
and the Trade Union Congress. Big respect because they have quite a number of seminars will be held across the country. I
When
see
will it
every
be?
district. It starts, it's not in chronological, but it seems like the earliest date here is the 12th of May.
Okay.
12th of May in Independence, and then 15th of May in San Ignacio, 21st of May in Belize City. That will be somewhere on Freetown Road at IT Vet. It used to be Technical College. So the month of May is being used, especially because Labor Day starts on the 1st of May, I guess. But the month of May is being used across the country to conduct some level of discussion and education in regards to the rights of workers and the rights of employers. Now I have to say this because one, I don't Creole, and two, I don't drink rum, but the point I want to make is as a general view, people in Belize City gives me the impression that they believe the Labor Department works closely with the employers.
Has always been this feeling.
Okay, I rest my case.
Yeah, it's been
All
this
right, so
feeling
this is
that-
a good time now to start, because if you educate people, they will know their rights. And this is what CREM has always been about. First time Evan Hyde said to me, why Bradley, you know, how the Wednesday night talk show start, and there was no holds barred. He didn't try to censor me. He didn't try to say like, why, you're a night man, you're the antagonist. PUP and UDP get it over the years.
I get the same sense
education,
of
no?
us here. Never had anything
kind of
from the,
censorship
no,
and
the
control.
chairman,
So
no card
that's
of
amazing.
no kind of why you
Yeah.
shouldn't have me, or maybe you should have. No,
That's amazing.
And that
So-
level of freedom, and I extend that also to the Son Most High. There's
yeah.
no censorship that
Yeah.
take place back here.
So I say that because this is a very good initiative. This needs to be applauded. It needs to be encouraged.
Yeah.
It needs probably to be done more than just one session in the whole of Belize City and in each district. It is support. Education is an ongoing thing.
That
We're
is
all
the
learning.
most important thing.
So also let me add to that. What a
And there's
wonderful
one
thing.
supposed to be, I just saw it from Dylan Vernon, that there's something also with with Assad. They're supposed to have a virtual seminar. I'm not sure of the exact date, but Dr. Assad Schumann will be the main speaker in
What
this
topic?
seminar.
What issue?
I got the sense that it's about these same issues.
Okay.
We need to understand
We
our
need
rights.
to be better
Yeah,
educated and
yeah,
informed.
Yeah.
Well, CREM is a leader in that.
Yeah.
we need to try and help see how CRIM could expand its coverage.
And I see also that Dr. Vincent Palacio is a more activist
yes,
individual.
I must say, UB is reach out, no?
UB is getting involved.
Yeah, big respect.
He has not reached out to us here at CRIM. I don't know why. I mean, I've called him several times.
Little by little.
But to get involved in this type of popular education.
CRIM is anti the system, so
maybe,
it takes a while.
maybe. But he's coming with the sentiments of let's check the system.
No, man, we have to have public education because down the drain we go.
Indeed.
You don't need
and you know, one of the things that amazed me when I was young and going to school, I happen to have been going to school during the 60s.
Anglican or Catholic?
No. I was plugged out from primary school.
The system,
yeah, I was plugged out from primary school and I ended up in the United States. But I thank God that I ended up in the United States in the 1960s. When the United States was going through an identity issue about its own self. And the point I'm making here is that the campus, the college campus where I attended was robust. Students coming out protesting. We want black studies, we want Chicano studies. And there was this natural demand, not upstart, but just crazy demand. And we were going and we are sit down in your office until we get it. Yes.
Yeah,
we don't see that kind of energy. Yeah. It happened about a couple of years ago.
Well, as Sandra said, they control it through the rum and the weed
and nobody want, everybody's into a bashment thing. Yeah. But it is young people in colleges, university, UB, etc., that will come out of this. Somebody also said, notice how over the last 25 or 30 years, universities have moved away from social science and questioning the system into preparation for jobs in the economy. So most of the college courses were about passing exams so that you can be a part.
Let me share an experience with you quickly since you're going down memory lane.
Yeah.
When I was out at the University of West Indies in Jamaica, they always have things. You know what has happened. They're always having, and they are branching. Belize need to remember that. So I went to.
They've gone quiet in Belize.
Very quiet. Actually, silence is a better word.
Yeah, I want to know what's
disturbing,
going on.
no?
Yeah.
So I go to this thing. Who is the main speaker, if I could use that term there? Who is the person? Mutabaruka. So what? You listen to him up on the radio all the time, and so I go. So in one portion, he says words to the effect that, me no allow no come to university, allow no where the other students and so. Young lady, where are you doing time you graduate? Well, I'm going to work as so and so and so. Youth man, where are you doing time you don't graduate? I hope I get a job as so and so and so. And how are you? He said, you see, we send them to a university, because university is. We send them to university, saying, I don't want to work for people. Work for yourself. Want to make a job for yourself.
We don't teach that.
You think anything wrong for you to be the manager of one jerk chicken stand?
Yes.
Anything wrong with that? You make your own money and not work for nobody.
And isn't it amazing that it took the system this long to recognize that no matter how rich you think your system is, you can't employ all of them people where graduate.
No, but capitalism is based upon having a labor pool.
Yes.
You could just look for exactly one job.
Yes, but
that is capitalism.
They also recognize that if there is at the end of the school year 1,000 jobs available, you got 10,000 graduating. So 9,000 is without a job. Yeah. So what they have been trying to do now over the last 20 years is introduce entrepreneurship. Get into self-made businesses.
In the university?
Yeah. Well, no, what they're doing out here for you as a small,
No, man, I'm not sure that.
Man.
But we have that another time.
But it's a good debate.
Can I tell you something?
The whole idea of the small and micro business project that they have been doing, it's all about that.
Where is that happening?
Boy, you didn't hear there was a big money that was given to Beltrade. There was a big money into training young people to try to get
Atlantic Bank advertising. BSE.
Yeah.
A huge money come to Belize for medium, small, and micro
but not being invested properly.
You talk about a billboard, the Belmopan, so? Is there any billboard in Belize City? Is there any billboard on the south side? come in and access money to open your own business.
Nothing
Is there
like
any
that.
billboard?
Nothing
Is
like that,
any of the
sir.
nominal black people and represent the black people at Belize City have any such thing
No,
at their
sir.
office? Come in and do they invite anybody from MESC or whatever it is to come to the office and you see that labor seminar? When I saw it, I said, oh man, this is what me and Nuri talk about.
Yeah,
The need for public education. Every ministry
Yeah.
and every department in Belize should be instructed by cabinet to start to organize public discussion,
Precisely.
public education as to what your department does and how your department is there to serve the public, and you, the public, tell me how we can better serve you. We need that because, you know, I wanted to say it when Don Hector Silver called, because we have no preparation for going into the independence, because there was nothing that we were being. I happen to have traveled all the way to the south of the continent of Africa. And in Namibia, which was a new country, had to fight against racist South African forces. And our Cuban brothers and sisters,
They were there.
from the island of Cuba. They all volunteered, they got in planes and went, stopped in Barbados and refuel and gone and fight the South African racist
And drip blood.
regime, which was supported by America and Britain.
Yeah.
Apartheid that locked up Nelson Mandela for 27 years. America and the British and most of the white nations in Europe supported the racist South African regime. That you could go to any people country and enslave millions and millions of people with force. I see somebody wrote a book about Stephen Biko month before last. Stephen Biko and beat the man to death in a police jail.
Yes.
So my point is that there is no public information and education. This is what CREM is so important to us about. Because people don't know when you go to this department, you know it is so bad. Let me end up like this. You know it is so bad in Belize. I see they're talking about it at the statistical unit where deal with births and deaths information and certificates. It's happening in immigration. It's totally happening in the land department. I'll call on Prime Minister, do something about the land department. People who are not even working there are having access to the original folios of land papers. Something is going wrong with the public service and with the governance in the country. We don't know. Nuri, if you want to get some kind of help at land department, you have to talk to somebody who don't even work there. And of course you have to pay them. So we pay people, even though we pay the civil servants for 10 to we. Immigration, you have to go through some facilitator. What the hell is going on in a small country like Belize? That citizens cannot easily go to a government department and get full, proper professional attention. In fact, they have a thing where they call contract officers, where you are employed. You know, go through Public Service Commission. There's no vacancy advertised. You're not the best of the best. There are some cronies, some family member, somebody. You get a job. You get you get a gratuity after 2 years. After 2 years, you get 20% of your salary. It's totally illegal. You know, the Constitution no provide for no contract officers. They get no gratuity in 2 years. This country is like, hey, have we gone down the rabbit hole? Like, we really need to. So when I saw this thing here from the Labor Department, supported by the trade unions in the country, man, this could be the start of some way to improve our public governance and the services we take to the
let's hope
Belizean
that
people.
it goes on beyond a month.
That
and be
too.
able to make it more regular thing, and let's hope that they hear that.
That too, because what, Nuri, a guy was telling me that labor went around and made a check. You know, at the Chinese shops and stores, the few that employ Belizeans, they can know they could just send for their own country people and come in and work for you know. We is one mixed up country. We don't have an immigration policy. We don't have a population policy. We just get up every day and the country run itself, and if you go down the wrong road, well, you go down the wrong road. If you don't go down no road, you don't go down no road. No, man.
And everybody's concern is, will it affect me? If you don't affect me,
couldn't care less. That's so sad, man. We could do much better than that.
We got to make a closing comment, though, and the only thing we could say is that this is going to continue through 2016, God spare life, that every so often we'll come back and bring our esteemed brother here. Give you a last word.
Well, my last word is on behalf of Will and Sharper.
First, tell us who is Will and Sharper, our heroes.
In Belize, back in the bad old days, when there was slavery in our country, there were 4 recorded rebellions. Black people couldn't read, our ancestors, they couldn't write. So we don't hear nothing from them, we don't got nothing about them. But in the white people's writings, because they had to write letter to Jamaica, please send one ship with soldiers because then black slavery are out of hand. So we have some kind of record. So we know that there were 4 different times in the history of slavery in Belize that the slaves rebelled against their slave masters. Throughout the whole record from slavery start till slavery end, you see constant complaint by the white slave masters to their bosses. 6 slaves run away and gone to Guatemala again. 20 slaves gone to Mexico. All through slavery, our people were running away and they were rebelling against slavery, like human beings everywhere where you have slaves. The law, there's slave laws. The slave laws turn human beings into chattels. The way white people own goat and cow and animals, slaves were at the same level. They were allowed to whop a slave 39 times and no problem. I get in enough problem right on Creme in the early years by calling that they moved Thomas Paslow name off of the building by Swing Bridge. Big 3-story building that housed the courts, income tax, lands department, and the post office. Named Paslow Building, a man who was found guilty of mutilating our, we Creole, whether we're brown, we're black, and all the other shades and whatnot, we come from white slave masters having sex with black female slaves. No history. So, on the 1st of August this year is another anniversary when slavery was legally abolished. Remember, this horrible thing was supported by British law, by the law. The law of the land is that you are a slave. So I wanted to say to you that in the 4 separate different occasions when some of our ancestors, the real and the first freedom fighters in our country, they rebelled knowing what happened if they never catch them. In the time that we get the name Will and Sharper, the name of 2 of the leaders of the slave rebellion, we have those names. Will, W-I-L, and Sharper, S-H-A-R-P-E-R. It is time, come the 1st of August 2026, with a progressive government in office, that we officially recognize those 2 men. These are the real freedom fighters. If they were caught, the horrible death that was meted out to slaves in Belize would have come down on them.
Indeed.
We know their names. We could have some official drawing, sculpture, somewhere that we could start when we pass. We could say, why? My man, then I'm a man.
Indeed.
If you catch me, you kill me, but until then, I want to wreak havoc on you. They are the real freedom fighters. They represent that thing in all of us that you can only push me so far, and after that, we will fight back.
Come back, yes.
So that is my last word.
I'm glad you brought that up, and I know I'm going to bring a sour point here, but I hear that when they decided that they would make a monument in honor of Sir Isaiah Martyr, that they gave the contract to a person from Mexico. I'm not sure if they gave him a photograph or what it was.
It wouldn't be a photograph. Isaiah looks so.
I don't know, boy.
Isaiah,
that is one of the ugliest statues that I have ever seen in honor of
It's not a picture of the Planet of the Apes.
It's an ugly picture. When are we going to take that down and put up a rendition? We've got people like Stephen Okeke who has done excellent. And I don't necessarily try to give Stephen one job. You know, I'm just saying That was something we did over 30 years ago. The man never know what to do. He just put up, and we may happy just we got one plaque or one statue. Okay? I know into statues, but the point I'm saying is that when are we going to correct that? How long we are?
On the 1st of August?
We carry the picnic and you look and say, well, Daddy, you only
You're not a monkey man, not monkey man. You can't do with that. Listen, if it's not taken down by the 1st.
So I tell you, Niche, that it's time that we correct that.
Niche.
Just as we want to make sure that Will and Sharper gets. Yes, you say you're doing research. You say you're modernizing our understanding of Belizean history. You need to do that.
Let me end on a positive note.
It gotta be the end. Yeah, it gotta be.
Let me end on a positive note.
All right.
There is a police officer. I think he's a sergeant of police. I big up Minister Karim Musa because Minister Karim Musa had instructed the previous commissioner of police that you need to utilize the skill of that officer. I'm going to call his name because it's entirely positive. He's officer, I don't know if I should have called people name, but his last name is Ruiz, R-U-I-Z. He knows how to make things. I probably said this already, I have on a belt. Yes. I'm proud to wear a belt made by a Belizean.
Yes.
He can make handbag, he can make briefcase, whatever it is, and so. He can make all the things they use the police, you know. Even the thing you put your sergeant stripe on, your corporal stripe on, he and his family can do it. They have done it. They have made whole styles, what we call scareback out of cowboy movie. Because a lot of police still have them gun in and them pants waist. That looks so sloppy.
Look crazy.
You have a family of Belizeans, one police officer. Give them the contract, make them nothing import from abroad where we could make the Belize. This is an industrious man. If I had a little extra money, my boy, I finance you. Get the equipment and the machine so you could go into belt and purses and all those things. Big respect to you and your family, Officer Ruiz. And I say no more.
Well, we end with this, that we have presented a proposal to the Minister of Home Affairs as to what we can do at LIU to give those youths a more dignified position. Right now we're hiring them to clean drain.
Man.
We're paying them on a weekly basis over the last 3 years to clean drain.
When the prisoners want to do it.
And we are in a position where this proposal to the minister, which I understand he has looked at very favorably, but there's no action on it yet, is for these youths to develop the manufacturing of street signs and license plate signs and other signage that is necessary that we are now presently bringing import from other countries in order to put up our sign. Now, my understanding is that several ministers and several of the officials mentioned of cabinet have looked at it and said, this sounds like a good idea. So we want you, the public, to be aware that this is Minister Mira's idea, that he would like to see LIU move from drain sweeping to something more enterprise. So we've presented a proposal, which we hope now will become actionable, that we can develop a manufacturing of signage, street sign, highway sign, license plate sign, all of these areas here. Just give us the opportunity, and we hope you cabinet colleague will give your support to your colleague, Minister Mira, so that we can get started on that project. That's the last word. We got nothing else to say, except we thank you for being with us for this extended time. We thank our colleagues down